My name is Universiti Utara Malaysia, business number 281193. I will start with bonds. Why investors should invest in bonds? Firstly, bonds provide income. While many investors provide some form of income, bonds tend to offer the highest and most stable cash streams. Even at times when rates are low, there are still plenty of options you can use to build a portfolio that meets your income needs. Secondly, bonds offer diversification. As time goes on, greater diversification can provide you with a better risk-adjusted return than narrow portfolio can. In other words, it reduces the amount of return relative to the risk. Thirdly, bonds preserve principal. Fixed income investments are very useful for people nearing the point where they will need to use the cash they have invested. Fourthly, bonds offer tax advantages. Certain types of bonds can also be useful for those who need to reduce their tax burdens. Next, I will continue with advantages and disadvantages of bond. Advantages of bond. Firstly, the corporation does not give away the ownership interest. Secondly, bonds provide facility for a corporation. Thirdly, the corporation is the ability to make bonds callable. Lastly, bonds may be convertible. Next one is disadvantages of bonds. They are that the corporation must make its bond interest payment, and also being highly leveraged can be risky. Lastly, how are bonds different from each other? I choose for the statement dedicated of a direct investment in bonds with an investment in mutual funds. Bonds, much like stock and other security, bonds can be sold at any time for cash as long as the market are open, while mutual funds not quite as liquid as bonds as they only trade at the market close. Mutual funds can be liquidated for cash rather fast and easily.
Assalamualaikum and good day to Dr. Nur Hafiza. Now I want to present about one type of the investment, which is mutual fund. Here I want to highlight on why investors should invest in mutual fund. First, mutual fund offer easy diversification for any investors, and you can buy one fund and at the same time can obtain instant access to hundreds of individual stocks or bonds. Second, mutual funds are professionally managed by mutual fund manager and analysts. If investors don't have time to buy individual stock, and it also have low entry requirement, which making it easier for any investor to jump in. And the last one is mutual fund come in many varieties, which the availability of different types of mutual fund allow you to build a diversified portfolio at a low cost and without much difficulty. The advantage of mutual fund: first, it's easy to buy and easy to understand, which typically have low minimum investment and traded only once per day. It also can reduce the portfolio risk by using diversification, and mutual funds are good for investors who don't have time or skills to do the research and asset allocation. Next is disadvantage of mutual fund. First, you should not invest in many mutual funds at a time, because while diversification average the risk of loss, it can also dilute the profit. Actually, in mutual fund, the total management charge are one of the first parameter to consider, because higher management fees do not guarantee better funds performance. Basically, how are mutual fund different from each other investment? Here I want to highlight on the difference of the risk between mutual fund and stocks. Mutual fund fetch high return and come with minimal risk, while the risks in stock are more risky than in mutual fund due to the fund diversification. That's all from me. I will pass to the next presenter. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Nurul Zulaika binti Tahrir, matric number 281015. So, for this topic, I will explain about why investors should choose stock compared to others investment. And I also will explain more about what is stock, advantage and disadvantage of stock, and how are stock different from others. So, let's go to the next slide. So, what is stock? Stock is a security that represents an amount of ownership in a company. Also, when we purchase a stock, automatically we will be a shareholder. So, next is why we should choose stock. Okay, first, because stock market has a strong base in this field since 50 years ago and has created an enormous of wealth. Then, it also has a diversification portfolio across many different industry. Which can reduce our risk, and last but not least is ability in starting a low investment as low as less than 100 ringgit. Advantage and disadvantage of stock. Advantage of stock: first, most liquid compared to others, which is easy to buy and sell compared to real estate investment. Then potential to earn high returns, since average stock market return has been about 10% annually since 1926. Then pride of ownership. We as investor has a share in that company. And last but not least is protect well from inflation, since stock rate return has a larger rate than inflation rate. So next is this disadvantage. First, time consuming investment, since long-term investment is a long-term debt, then a higher risk due to stock is depending on the company performance. And last is disadvantage in being an ownership in the company, which is investor can be last to get paid in that company. So how are stock different from others? First, stock is mostly suitable for beginners and for investors that prefer a long-term investment compared to option. Option is more technical investment and has a flexibility regarding time, and also has an expiration date which range from days to years. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you.
My name is Muhammad Noizam bin Ilyas. My metric number is 275377. So I will talk about options, why the investor should invest in options. So for the first one, option offers versatility. Investor can make money when markets goes up or even sideways. Investor also can be an option as a buyer or seller. Call and put options, varieties designed for hedging income and speculation. For the second one, options provide cost efficiency. Options have great leveraging power. Investor can obtain an option position at a huge cost savings. It offers lower cost ways to go long or short the market with the limited downside risk. For the last one, option offers strategic alternative. Options are very flexible tools. The synthetic positions present investor with multiple ways to attain the same investment goal. The advantages and disadvantages of options. For the advantages of options, options are liquid, which you can exchange them for cash at any time the market is open. It can deliver very high returns and do so over a very short period of time by using the power of leverage. The flexibility to speculate and profit on both positive and negative changes to the value of a security. For the disadvantages of options, options are not guaranteed by the government, so you can lose money on them. The prices can fluctuate significantly from day to day, which the investment can decline in value quickly. The complicated structure requires expertise in utilizing options as a form of investment. How are options different from each other? I will compare between options and the stocks. For options have a higher potential returns and can be less risky for investors if they are using hedging to manage the risk properly. While for the stock have a high risk with higher potential return with the lifetime potentially infinite.